Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn weekly energy reading for the 12th to the 18th. I'm also going to do an extended with this. If this reading resonates with you and you want to check out the extended, just hit the join button. There is one below the video and I will put a link in the description. And that is where all of my extendeds are. And there's also a monthly bonus video in there. All right, so I have my Psychic Tarot Oracle deck and I have my cleansing crystal on the top. And we're going to shuffle the cards and see what's going on for the week for Capricorn. All right, so we have number 13, Transformation, and that is the Death card. And then what is that crossed by? We have Fertility, number 3, and that is the Empress. What do you need to focus on? We have Truth, number 20, and that is the Judgment. What do you need? Let's see, what are you leaving behind? We have 2, Mental Conflict. So that's good. That's the 2 of Swords, sorry. Your strengths, 5, emotional loss, which is the 5 of Pentacles. Near future, we have 4 of Pentacles, which is discontent and boredom. For the advice, we have the throat chakra. For the environment, we have the temptation, number 15, which is the Devil card. Hopes and fears, we have choose wisely. And for the potential outcome, we have, oh, I love it, heart chakra. And then the bottom of the deck, we have prosperity begins. That's what I was feeling, is that this is going to be a week where there's going to be some struggles. There may be some challenges. There may be some obstacles, but I kind of feel like it's a release, but it's also a transformation and a change. I feel like you're kind of getting bored with something and you're moving on with something and you're saying, you know what, I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to be in this energy anymore, or I don't want to deal with this situation or this, you know, whatever this thing is that I feel that you're struggling with. And I love how prosperity begins. This is this is cups. Sorry, I got it. I've had these cards forever. I've probably had them for like 5 or 6 years, but I decided to pull them out. So I haven't used them a lot. So this is this is the Ace of Pentacles. So this is number 1. So this is the Ace of Pentacles, and the green is the Cups. So this is the 5 of Cups, and this is the 4 of Cups. And then this is the 7 of Cups. So sorry about that confusion. I got it straight now. So that's what I'm feeling. So with all of these cups here, I feel that it's a lot of emotions, and I love the potential outcome is the heart chakra. And I feel like it's working on your heart and rebuilding your heart and putting your heart back together, and those emotions and those feelings, and it's releasing those things, but it's bringing in new beginnings for you. And that's what you have to keep in mind. Like I've said before, I feel I like the Tower card, is because that is something that is kind of tearing down something that has a false meaning to it, or it has cracks in it. And I kind of feel like this whole reading is all of these cards represent a tower for you. And it's something that is coming down, but it's rebuilding yourself bigger and better and stronger. And that's what you have to keep in mind, that this challenge that you're having is to help you to fulfill your heart, to mend your heart, to have prosperity beginning, to have things be better, because you have to let go of something. So as we have in the beginning, we have the Death card, which is crossed by the Empress. So I feel like it's, again, something for you to learn and grow from. And it's very important that that's what you focus on, and that You don't see it as something to work against you, because if you feel that it works against you, it's going to be so much more difficult. And it's going to be so much harder and more challenging. And I know it's easier said than done to be like, oh, like all of these challenges I'm just going to be happy about. No, it's not. You have to, but you don't want the challenge to take control of you. You want the challenge to take control. You want to take control of the challenge. And something's coming to an end here with this Death card. Something's ending, but I feel like you need to realize that it was something that's no longer serving you. What do you need to focus on? We have the truth, right? The truth of the situation. Maybe the truth is revealed to you. Maybe this is the Judgment card, but I also feel like this is weighing in your favor. Like you find out the truth of a situation, or maybe how you really felt about something, or the reality that, okay, I really need to let this go. I really need to stop this. I really need to let this go. I really need to move on from that. And finding out, focusing on the truth of the situation is, why has this come to an end? And you know, that this is a growth opportunity for me. This is an opportunity for me to learn more about myself. What you're leaving behind, this is the Two of Swords. So it's that mental conflict. It's that confusion. It's not really knowing what's going on. So you're leaving that behind, which is a good thing. And it's no longer having that. And I feel like that is what was contributing to this confusion that was going on here, and this buildup and this disconnect and all of that stuff. I feel like that's what was contributing, was this mental conflict that you had going on in your mind. And you're like, should I stay or should I go? Or, you know, do I still keep fighting for this? Do I still keep doing this? Or should I move on from this? Like, just like kind of figuring out the truth of where it is you want to go from here, and sticking to that, and just being focused, right? Having that focus. So your strengths are number 5, the 5 of Cups, and it says emotional loss, but I don't feel that that's your strength. I feel that you're a very sensitive person, and that when something comes to an end, is that you feel that, like you feel that emotional loss, but I feel like that represents your sensitivity, and that's not a bad thing. I'm a very, very sensitive person. I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising, and I've always had people like tell me, oh, you're too sensitive, or you're so sensitive. And I always used to feel that that was a bad thing, because people would say it in a negative way, like the tone of their voice, and I would feel like, oh, like that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. But you know what? It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's an amazing thing. It's part of me and who I am. And that's not something that I should be ashamed of, that I should be proud of myself, that I'm sensitive and I'm caring and I'm, you know, things affect me. And that's a good thing. So I feel like you're that way too, is that you're a very sensitive person. And when endings happen, or when there's challenges, that you take it to heart, and it's a little harder for you to work through those, because you are emotionally attached to things or people or situations, and that it's hard for you to have those changes. And that's a good thing. That's not a negative at all. So and that's how you have to see it. That's your mindset. That's how you have to see it. And to not think of that as a negative. That's what makes you you. That's a part of you. So in the near future, we have discontent and boredom, which is 4 of Cups. But I feel like that represents you're no longer interested in the way things were, and that you're ready for new challenges. Because usually the 4 of Cups is they're looking at 3 spilt cups, and the person is looking up towards a cup that's coming in. And I feel like you're ready to move on. You're ready for new challenges. You're bored with the way things were. Like you're like, okay, I don't want it to be that way. I don't want to feel that way. And I'm ready for new challenges. We have advice, which is the throat chakra, and it's speaking up, right? Voicing your opinion, speaking up, and letting that out. Even if you're in a room by yourself and you're like, you know what? You're just speaking out to yourself and saying, I want a new job, or I want a new relationship, or I want a better relationship, or I want to feel happy, I want to feel strong, I want to feel more confident. Whatever that thing is getting that out. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a conversation with someone, but it's like speaking your truth. So I feel that that's what this throat chakra is speaking your truth and not holding back anymore. We have environment, which is the devil card, which can be twofold because this is a reading for Capricorn. So it could be coming into your own power and your own strength. But what we have temptation here, which also could be that falling back into old ways. You know, do you have a habit of kind of moving forward, right? But then it feels uncomfortable and then you slide back into old ways. You know, it could be those relationships that we have where it's, you know, friends, family member, partnerships where we're like, you know what, I know that I really need to have some distance from this person, and so you try to create that distance and then that person comes in even harder, right? All of a sudden they're acting exactly the way you want them to, and then they're, you know, really reaching out to you and they're being nice, and then all of a sudden you fall into that trap and then they go back into their old ways. So there could be some sort of temptation here to fall back into old ways or negativity, negatively thinking. So that could be happening. So it's being aware of that environment, because sometimes it can be a struggle sometimes to move on from a way of thinking or a way of being or something that becomes a habit, and moving on from that there's that temptation because the way it was before felt more comfortable. Then we have hopes and fears. We have the Seven of Cups, choosing wisely, making this great decision. Don't overstress and don't overthink and don't worry about what choice you make. Go with the choice that you feel in your gut and follow through with that. Because if you start questioning yourself, then it's all of a sudden you're going back to this mental conflict and you're opening the door to that again. And you're saying, well, should I do this? Should I do that? You know, and it becomes overwhelming. So kind of find your truth and say, this is the path that I want to go on, and this is where I'm going to follow it, and follow that through. And don't worry about decisions or choices. If you have to adjust, then you have to adjust, but don't doubt yourself and don't question yourself, because then you're losing that confidence and that trust within yourself. And then for the potential outcome, we have the heart chakra, which I feel is your heart becomes more full, and it starts to build back up, right? We feel that we have like those cracks in our heart, or our heart has been broken, you know, because we've been let down, or, you know, whatever this death card is, that we're having to let go of something. And it's, you know, we feel, you know, emotionally hurt, and we feel hurt, you know, we feel like our heart is broken, but it's, you know what? It's up to you to rebuild that heart, right? And put it back together. I feel that is the best thing, especially being Capricorn. I feel that we're very independent, and I feel like, you know, we need to rely on ourselves. Not that you can't have other people help you to mend your heart, but I feel like you're the one that's in charge the most of your heart, and putting it back together and making sure that you do that self-care and you do those things that make your heart feel full and make your heart feel happy. You know, if it's making sure that your environment is, you know, safe and comfortable. I actually, you know, doing little things. So I actually bought the most amazing, like one of those, it looks like a hand knit blanket, and it is so, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. I absolutely love it. She's still in the bag, and I love how it came wrapped. It came wrapped in a bow, and it looks really pretty. And I just treated myself, because feeling comfy and cozy sitting on the couch, right? So even, you know, sitting here in the chair and working, and sometimes it gets a little chilly, so I like to wrap myself up in a blanket. But doing little things like that make you happy, and treating yourself like that, and, you know, maybe putting some candles out, or making yourself your favorite meal, or buying your favorite candy. I love, which I know most people, I think you either love them or hate them, but I love candy corn. So I bought myself a bag of candy corns, and I put them out on a pretty candy dish with a little spoon, and, you know, I treated myself to that. So they were on clearance, so I bought myself a bag, and I absolutely love them, and they make me smile, and just seeing them there on the counter, they make me happy, and it's a little sweet treat for myself. So I'll wrap up in my blanket and eat my candy corns. But that's what makes you feel good. That's what makes you feel special, and that's how you do that self-care, is treating yourself. And then we have the prosperity begins, which is the Ace of Pentacles. And yeah, prosperity begins because you're looking out for yourself. You're releasing for what doesn't work for you. You're not doubting or questioning yourself, that you're moving on to more exciting things. You're speaking up for yourself. You're not overthinking things. You're coming into your own power, and you're healing your own heart, right? How can it be any better than that? But it's this state of mind and your mental, you know, your mental outlook on how this is going to come out with this challenge here. So I have my energy oracle here, and we have broken heart. So that's funny, because that's what I was saying. Like, I feel like that's what this reading is about a broken heart, that there was something that broke your heart, see? But then we're ending with the heart chakra, and that's what I was talking about, is putting things back together. And doing that for yourself. And the best thing that you can do is do that for yourself, and not rely on someone else to do that, or to, I know that when I was struggling in my marriage, like, I kept getting more animals. I love animals. I mean, I absolutely love animals. But instead of me working on the relationship with my ex-husband, I would get more animals. And I think I had like 25 chickens. I had 3 horses. I had 3 or 4 bunnies. I had a cockatiel. I think at one time we had 5 cats. It was kind of like a farm, which we did have 7 acres, and I built my dream barn. So yes, like, I was just making more spaces, and I loved all of my animals, and they were treated. I loved my chickens. They were the best. I love my girls. They all had names, and we had a nice safe space for them, and I would call them. I had a green bucket with some corn in it, and I would call them, and they would come running, and they would help me with the garden. So I loved all my girls. I loved all my horses. I loved all of my animals, but I was looking for them to satisfy something that I really needed to find within myself. And that's why I feel this is so important, is to look within yourself and to heal that within yourself. And that's something from my own experience. Now I have some fish, and I have my 2 girls, and I have my horse. So I'm better. But I have found personally that finding that love and healing my own broken heart has been the best thing ever for me. And I feel like that is the best advice that I could give. I'm going to grab an angel answers here to close this out. Again, if you are interested in this reading, I'm going to do an extended, and we're going to get some clarification. And then we have some abundance. I love it, because I was just looking at that prosperity begins, and that also signifies abundance, right? Abundance is on your way. It doesn't necessarily even have to be a thing, right? It doesn't have to be a materialistic thing. It can be that abundance of happiness within your own heart and within yourself. And having that abundance within yourself makes everything else so much better. And it gives you that motivation to have that, if you want that materialistic abundance, right? And not that I'm saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying is that working within yourself, that the abundance could represent that abundance, that love, like your heart is healing and that crack is healing. There may be a scar that may always be there, but it's that healing, and over time it gets better. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing week. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.